fun. Let's see. All right, you guys, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank God for Brett. He's like my tech expert here. It still cracks me up how nervous I get to do these. I always worry about all the tech issues. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter where you are at in your AdvoCare journey. We all have to get uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm fired up for tonight. It's been a while since I've done a live webinar, but this is good, you know, because I've had this topic on my heart for a while. We get so many people that get so excited, and you know they get started with AdvoCare, and one of the biggest questions that we get asked all the time is, how do I go about sharing AdvoCare? And so I thought, you know what, this is going to make for a great topic, and a lot of people have been bringing it up again lately. So here we go. And you know, I'm just glad that you guys are here, and I hope you have your journals ready. And I have kept this training very super simple. And that is by design and to be intentional, because personally, I think people make AdvoCare too hard. And you need to keep this business simple. And so my training is laid out tonight to really just help you, to help prove that point about keeping AdvoCare simple. All right. So my name's Dawn Funk. I guess I should have said that at the beginning, but I am so excited to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour with you. We've got all the kids in bed. This is like never happened. So awesome. But, you know, my husband, Brett, and I, I'll share our story in just a second. But for those of you that don't know, I am a former school teacher. I taught English and language arts, and I was an English professor. So, you know, that definitely helped a little bit as we got started. I definitely pulled on that teaching background to help me as we started our business. But tonight, we're going to really just focus on, you know, bringing AdvoCare to the people that you are around in your life to help you have more success and to help you change more lives. And so, you know, as I flip back, I put that little quote at the bottom for those of you at Success School and Advo Nation here in Cincy, you know, how awesome Jason Pinnell was with, you know, the places you will go. And it is just amazing to me to think that when we started 4 years ago, we were just dreaming about having enough money to go to the local amusement park. That's how shrunk our dreams were. And to think in the last 4 years, by not making this business too hard, and by getting uncomfortable and sharing AdvoCare and not letting anything or anyone get in our way, we have been able to travel the world. And so I want you guys to understand what you have your hands on. And if you apply some of the things that I talk about tonight, and if you are coachable and teachable and are consistent, there are going to be some amazing places in life that you will be able to go. And that's a picture of me over the Great Barrier Reef in Australia in a helicopter. Are you kidding me? I didn't think I'd ever fly in a helicopter ever, but it just blows my mind. And, you know, we've been to some pretty extraordinary places over the last few years. And I want you to think about the places that you'd like to go as you hear the tips tonight, and some of them may be uncomfortable for you. I hope that you remember the places that you want this business to take you and fight for those. So I'm going to take you back. I'm going to share our story as quickly as I can. I am going to give a little disclaimer that I do have some brevity issues. But, you know, I love to work in details and share my heart. So, you know, all stories have a beginning, and yours has a beginning too. You know, all of us are united and got involved with AdvoCare for a reason, right? We are all trying to improve our lives in some capacity. And the greatest thing about that is that we get to improve our lives by improving the lives of others. And what an amazing gift this company is. But, you know, in the beginning for us, I want you to understand that AdvoCare was shared with us for an entire year, you guys, before we were willing to look at this. And so 5 years ago, my great friend, Jason Miller, who I went to college with, came to me with AdvoCare. But what you have to understand is I didn't want anything to do with AdvoCare. I was a busy mom with 4 kids who were all in lots of different sports and activities. I was a full-time school teacher, a part-time professor. I had a lot of things that I couldn't say no to, that, you know, PTO responsibilities and on different boards and things like that, and coach my daughter's volleyball team. But guys, those weren't the really horrible things that drained me. What drained me were these cute little Mickey Mouse ear cookies over here and all the other hundreds of different cookies that I made with this life-sucking cookie business that I had. And so, you know, 7 nights a week, I was baking cookies from about 9 o'clock at night until 2 or 3 a.m. And that business robbed me of time away from my family. It absolutely affected me as a teacher because I would go rolling into work so tired from making cookies all night. And so when Jason brought AdvoCare, I thought, are you nuts? Like, I've already got 3 jobs I get paid for, 4 kids, all these other things I'm trying to juggle. And it's a what? It's a direct sales company? Are you kidding me? You know, I'm not going to get involved in one of those pyramid schemes. And that's what I thought. And so I want you guys to understand that people don't know what they don't know. And so you have to always have that perspective when you're sharing AdvoCare, right? And show people grace. And so, Jason, here's another huge tip, and I hope you write this one down. Jason Miller did not share products with me. He shared a supplemental income opportunity from the very beginning, okay? And so, you know, although I was skeptical and I wanted nothing to do with it, that's what he was bringing, was hope and a solution to my insanity. But I was too closed-minded, and so I kept doing what I knew, which was working my butt off and, you know, just trying to make the money to cover the bills. But the reality is, a year later, we hit rock bottom. And so the important thing is that Jason never quit. Okay? Because if he would have quit when this business was hard, you know, think about all the times I told him no. Every month he'd call me back and drip AdvoCare, and I wanted nothing to do with it. If he had quit when this business was hard and with all those rejections, I wouldn't be here right now sharing my story and doing this, paying it forward and helping you guys. But, a year later, we hit rock bottom, and it was absolutely disgusting because all that hard work got me was a bunch of credit cards being turned off. Our mortgage was behind. We were going to Cashland and CheckSmart, begging for money through plexiglass. I was putting $5 of gas in my car, which was usually a handful of change. Brett and I were talking about divorce because we never saw each other. And I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired and fighting with him every day about the bills that were piling up and, the lack of money that we had together. And I was really bitter. I had 3 jobs and he had 1. And, I just felt like we were in a horrible place. And on Lexi's birthday, we didn't have enough money to take our oldest daughter out to Steak and Shake to celebrate. And when you have to make your daughter cheap spaghetti for her birthday because you don't have $40 to go to Steak and Shake, there's a problem. And I recognized that problem. It slapped me right in the face that night. But thank God for Jason Miller because what?
The volume just stopped.
Oh, Brett
It was
just said
working fine just till 1 second.
I didn't hit anything. Oh,
Keep talking.
all right. Reconnect. Why is it saying reconnect?
You're on this video.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, all right. Hopefully it's Brett's. All right, Brett's telling me to keep talking. Okay, hopefully we're good. Can you get that computer in check? All right, guys, I'm just going to keep moving here. Hopefully you guys are still on. Hang on 1 second. I want to make sure you're still on. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so anyways, gotta love it. Make me an oasis, Brett. All right, so here we go. So, we hit rock bottom and I knew something had to change, and we ran into Jason a couple weeks later. Now, I always analyze this night because this is so important for you too when it comes to sharing AdvoCare. What I saw this night was that he and Ty looked great. They had great energy. They were positive. They were excited, and they were passionate about AdvoCare. Okay, hopefully, I thought Brett just yelled something. And that, that was something that attracted me that night. Now, keep in mind, I had hit rock bottom a couple weeks earlier. But what else got me to finally look at this too was they were having success. And so I'm telling you, people are watching you. And I, kind of watched Jason for a year. And so that always fuels me, especially today. I know that people are watching people on my team to see if this is real. And so that's what fuels me, is I love to help as many people as possible in all of AdvoCare have success, because I know how many skeptics are out there. And so his success inspired me because he was able, to leave his job and come home and do AdvoCare full time. But here's the reality. I didn't think I had sales experience like he did. I didn't see myself being able to make $6,000 to $8,000 a month. I had shrunk my dreams to excuses such as lack of time and lack of sales experience, to where I only saw this for $1,000 a month. And that's what finally attracted me to AdvoCare. And I'm telling you what, you guys, there are so many people in your life that $1,000 will change their life. And don't forget that. And so, that's why we finally said yes. And I'll just quickly pick it up and then we'll get into the training. But, my second month in the business, just multitasking and working AdvoCare into our life and embracing AdvoCare as a way of life instead of a fourth job, we hit that $1,000. And 4 months in, we finally actually got to go to Disney for the first time ever because of the $2,000 of supplemental income that we earned with AdvoCare. And 7 months in, after coming back from my first success school and catching the huge vision of this company and getting around the positive people, I was able to surpass my teaching salary and in 9 months doubled that and came home to be a mom that puts my kids first and to be a leader that has more time to help the people on my team reach their goals. And in 11 months brought Brett home, and that's where our journey together, really started with this business. And, he was supportive, but he did extra things at home because he was kind of shy and didn't feel super comfortable sharing about AdvoCare. And I know there are people like that, and that's okay. And so he was our behind the scenes hero, but bringing him home is what saved our marriage. Because when you're not stressing about time together and when you're not stressing about money, it can fix a lot of wrongs in a marriage. And I get to do life every day with my best friend. And, today we've been full-time AdvoCare for over 3 years. Every day we wake up, we drive all 4 of our kids to school. We get to go work out together. We get to have lunch together. And actually, Brett makes me lunch most days. He's a pretty awesome cook. But we get to spend every day with our family and our friends. And, it's been amazing. And this picture over here, it's crazy to think when we got involved, it was to get off of making cookies. And now today, we've been able to pay it forward. And, over the last 3 years, we've taken 6 families, all expenses paid, to Disney. And that is crazy. The family that could never even afford to go to Disney on their own, gets to bless other families. So that's what you have your hands on. And I really want you to understand that this is so much bigger and greater. And that's why it's so worth getting over any of the awkwardness and the uncomfortableness and just putting yourself out there and sharing the message of AdvoCare, because there are families that are just praying for something like this. And so we're going to get right into it. And I always love to share the funky facts because so many people think that you have to know so many other people in order to have success. And that is a myth, okay? And so I'm going to set that straight right now. Brett and I have 79 people that we have personally shared AdvoCare with in 4 years. Now, granted, we've shared with, some that have not renewed. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but there are people that let their distributorship expire. Oh my gosh, yes, it happens. And it's unfortunate, but as of today, we have 79 people on our front line. And so I want you to look at this too. We only have one person that we worked with at our jobs that is a distributor on our team. No business builders. And I hear all the time people are like, well, I can't get anyone at work to do AdvoCare, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I ruled my job as off limits because I didn't want to have my job be jeopardized. I mean, heck, we were broke. The last thing I needed to do was to get in trouble at work for sharing another business. Now, what I did do is make sure that I was Facebook friends with some of the people at work that I thought might be good for AdvoCare. And if they approached me on Facebook, then great. And of course, I was intentional and drank Spark at work, but I never let that bother me because work was not the place that I was trying to get people to do AdvoCare. Out of our family, only my sister and Brett's sister do AdvoCare. And guys, I have a huge family, okay? And I've even had cousins and relatives defriend me. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but I've had friends of mine defriend me on Facebook. And does it hurt? Absolutely. But you know what hurt worse? Is telling my kids, sorry, mom doesn't have any money for the book fair. Sorry. That hurt worse. You know what hurt worse? Standing at a plexiglass window with my kids out in the car, lying to them that we were at a special bank that didn't have suckers. Okay. So, you have to always put this in perspective. And many of our close friends have never joined AdvoCare and have even distanced themselves from us. But you know what? We have gained so many other friends in AdvoCare, and we've really kind of discovered who our real friends in life are. And, you know, again, it's just one of those things that we just couldn't ever take it personally. And it's just a reality. And if your family and friends have joined you, I am jealous. That is awesome. But just don't be discouraged if they don't, because we have not had that luck ourselves. Also, you guys, for those 79 people that we've helped see the power of AdvoCare, we've had over 1,000 no's, and we still get no's. In fact, I'm getting ignored right now by 7 people, okay? And I know that they're seeing my stuff because on Facebook, you know how it says red? That is a normal part of this business. And so you have to mentally prepare yourself that you are going to be a part of something where rejection is going to be a part of it, right? And so that's one of the first things that you have to get straight is your mind, and understand that people are not going to be as excited as you are, and that there's going to be rejection, and you just can't take it personally. And you have to just keep moving forward, sharing with new people every single day, regardless of the no's, regardless of the rejection, regardless of the people whispering behind your back, regardless of the people saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're in one of those pyramid schemes. Because trust me, we've dealt with all of that, and we have persevered, and so can you. So here we go. Sorry, my allergies are horrible, so I apologize if I'm sniffling, but here we go. Number 1. So what I've got tonight are 15 tips, okay? And then I'm going to just add some of my own narrative, and then I've got some stories from people in our own organization to illustrate these points, okay? Number 1, when you're sharing AdvoCare, this is a business of attracting people to you. This is not you chasing and harassing people and wanting them to feel guilty and buy stuff from you. You know, guys, even though we were broken, Brett and I had a very serious conversation when we got started. And I said, I will not come across as desperate. I know that we are struggling, and I know that life sucks, but I have enough pride that I am not going to have people feel sorry for me and order from me, you know, because that I need sales. I want them to, you know, choose the products or choose the business because they want to do it. And so make sure that you are attracting people to you, and understanding that when you're having that mindset, that's going to require patience, okay? And so one of my biggest tips, I think, and I said this at the beginning, don't be awkward. Don't turn into some weird salesperson or be someone different when you're sharing AdvoCare. It is just an extension of you. I have never changed my quirkiness, who I am. I am Dawn Funk when I'm at my kids' class, when I'm, you know, at a cookout, and I'm Dawn Funk when I'm sharing AdvoCare, right? And so don't make it awkward. Just be yourself. And I think that is one of the biggest mistakes, that people overcomplicate this and make it too hard. And so just be you and be real, but also you got to be excited, guys, and you got to smile. And this is one thing that I say all the time, that's, you know, you're going to have to fake it until you make it. And what I mean by that is, you know, when I started AdvoCare, life sucked. I mean, we were broke. You know, I was tired. You know, I was frustrated. But on the outside, man, I was in a good mood. I sucked it up because I knew that people weren't going to want to be around me or buy products from me or be a part of my team if I was always in a bad mood and complaining and negative. Who wants to be a part of that? Not me. So you might have to fake your happiness and fake your excitement and suck it up and put a smile on your face in the days that you don't want to, because that is what is going to help attract people to you. And so you have to be consistently positive. And trust me, that's even on the days when you feel nothing but negative. And I can relate to that too. But one of the things I did in the very beginning too was, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be that chick. I'm going to be the chick in direct sales that everyone's going to be gawking at and making fun of, but that's okay. You know, I prepared myself for it. But one of the things I did is I remember making a list of all the things about people who had done direct sales that had turned me off. Like, why is it that I had a bad taste in my mouth when it came to direct sales? You know, because a lot of us do. And so I made a list of all the things about the people or the companies that turned me off. And some of those were, they were really pushy. It was all about their products. It was about the, you know, giving me an order form and making me feel pressured to buy something. And it was all about them. And, you know, they didn't really ever open up about why they were involved. It was just all about making money. And so I remember looking at that list and going, Dawn Funk, you are not going to be those things. We are not going to be that kind of couple. We are going to be ourselves, and we are going to allow people to say no and let them know that it's okay. That, you know, Brett and I, we love AdvoCare and we love the products and we're excited about the possibility of making $1,000. But if it's not for you, that's okay. And, you know, I think that when you have that mindset, that is so, people pick up on that and they are world can you get other people to believe in what you're doing? And so, you know, I've always believed in sharing all the options of AdvoCare. Okay, hopefully you guys are still hearing me. This computer said disconnect again. I have no way of knowing if this is going well or not. So I'm assuming it is. Okay, Brett just came in here.
It's going great.
I hit.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you, Brett.
I'm not sure why it's.
All right. Is yours still on?
Keep talking. I'll see.
You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Brett's going to go check. All right, I think we're back on. So, oh my gosh. So the second thing that I want to, I just said that. Okay, so share all the options. Guys, you can't decide for anyone what relationship they want to have with AdvoCare. And you are being selfish if you don't share all the options of AdvoCare. And you cannot prejudge anyone, okay? And you might have some friends that don't need money, but they might know somebody that does. And so I'm going to share a quick story of my friend Shelly, okay? And I think these stories are really going to help because, you know, stories are what sell and facts just tell, right? And so it's important, I think, to understand the process with this. So when I first got involved, of course, I'm all excited. I placed my advisor order and I have Spark and samples, and Shelly is one of my best friends. And I remember, you know, sharing AdvoCare with Shelly. And of course I said, hey, Shelly, you know, she's a marathon runner. She's a counselor. She's retired military. And, you know, I remember sharing with her and, you know, she kind of quickly was like, Dawn, I'm pulling in my retirement. I love what I do. I don't want to sell this stuff. I'm like, that's cool. I don't want to jeopardize our friendship over this. I understand. But here's the deal. You know, you're enjoying the products, because she was using products. And or she tried some samples. And I said, since you like the products, I definitely think you're going to want to take advantage of getting them at a discount. And so I shared the different ways that she could get, you know, the different discounts, including advisor. Because here's the reality. We have a lot of advisors that don't do the business, but they're all about the 40%. They're all about going all in so they can have $900 worth of free products. So share all the options. And so I shared this with Shelly. And I said, here's the deal, Shelly. I know you don't want to do this as a business, but I know that you're frugal. And, you know, I know that you would love to have that 40% discount. And so if you give me a couple of referrals and you refer people to me and let me help them for you, I'll do all the work. and their sales will help you build to the 40% discount. So I was showing Shelly what was in it for her, and that attracted her. So she's like, okay. So she led me to 3 people, that ended up becoming distributors and ended up getting their products at a discount. And because I knew that Shelly wasn't doing this as a business, I had taken ownership and I was treating this like a business. And so I had to share AdvoCare with the 3 distributors who had signed up under Shelly, because that was my responsibility, right? And so I picked up the phone and I checked in on them and made sure that everything was going cool. And one of the girls, when I shared my story to, of course, was definitely intrigued. She was a teacher. We made that connection. She appreciated that I took the time to pick up the phone and connect and call her. And she was like, okay, I could see myself doing this as a little, supplemental income opportunity. So she joined us. And I told her the things that she needed to do to have success. Well, she ended up leading us to a girl named Lindsay Johannes, who is a rock star out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm not going to go into depths of this whole story, but what I want you to know is that if I had not shared all the options with Shelly, okay, she would have never gotten to that 40% through referrals. She would have never led me to April Brown, who is a silver leader, actually gold leader, I apologize. And April led us to Lindsay Johannes, who is a ruby leader and has produced several other gold leaders and is helping so many people up in Wisconsin. And so I think about that all the time. What if I would have just shared products to Shelly out of my house? What if I would have shared my discount? What if, I would have not told her about being a distributor and building her way to advisor? These are important things, you guys, and I want to really stress the importance of that, especially, just really showing people what's in it for them and then helping them achieve that, okay? All right, I got to take a drink of water. Let your hand take a break for a second. All right, number 3. Casually intentional. Wear your colors and represent with integrity. Guys, we sell Spark. That means that you shouldn't have Mountain Dew in your hand. That means you shouldn't be drinking coffee. I mean, you have to, represent AdvoCare. That's just my personal belief. If you need to have those things, and I guess have them in your house, I don't know, but you won't see me drinking a pop. You won't see me drinking coffee. You will see me wearing a lot of AdvoCare bands and my colors every single day in some form or fashion. And, from the very beginning, I remember thinking, okay, I got to get rid of the purse. Of course, my purse was a Nike backpack because I thought Nike is not paying the bills. But this AdvoCare logo, oh yeah, this can help me earn some extra money. And so I have always had a little backpack with that logo on. And I'm telling you what, that is so important, to be casually intentional with people. And so I'm going to share a quick little story of my daughter's teacher, Tammy Rewine. She's amazing. And she fits a lot of these categories, as do so many champions on my team. But, restarted school last August. And I'll never forget, we went into open house, and it was one of those moments of, oh my gosh, I love this lady. She has a great smile, a great presence. She has an incredible classroom. You can tell she's an overachiever. She had this PowerPoint presentation. And I looked at Brett and I was like, oh my gosh, this chick would be amazing. But I had to pull myself back in because I didn't even know her. Like, it was open house. I just met the lady. And so I know that sometimes, we meet these people and we get so excited. But you got to remember, too, that you got to build the relationship. And, but I am glad we did wear our colors that night. And over the course of several months, we were casually intentional. Every time we dropped off Reese, every time we picked her up, we had our colors on. We always had a smile on our face. We were representing with integrity. And, we'd had a spark in our hands. And so finally, at the end of October, when we decided, okay, today's the day, right? We're going to officially share AdvoCare. It was just a very casual yet intentional conversation. The kids had gone out to recess. We had volunteered that morning, and we had built the relationship over a couple months. And guys, it was this simple. Okay, are you ready? This is how simple it was. I was like, hey, Tammy, I'm like, have you noticed that we wear AdvoCare stuff all the time? And she looked at me and said, well, yeah, I have. And I've been stalking you guys. Guys, I was just casually intentional. I didn't make it weird. I talked like a human would talk in a casual conversation. And that's what got our conversation going. And I said, oh, okay, awesome. And she said, yeah, I was curious what you guys did, because you're always wearing AdvoCare, and Reese wears AdvoCare to school, and you've always got this pink stuff and these water bottles. And I was like, oh, awesome. Yeah. I said, I know that it's your lunch break, and I want to be respectful of that, which is why I picked that time too, because I didn't want to Advo barf on her, right? So I said, I know that you don't have much time. I said, but here, I brought you some goodies, some of my favorite products, and I brought you an Impact magazine, which will help you, learn more about what we do. I said, but, this company's changed our life. And, we got involved for the supplemental income, and, it's allowed us to be at a place today where we get to bring Reese to school and pick her up every day and move down here, to Cincinnati. And I said, I'll follow up with you later. I said, but here's some goodies and check them out. And what I want you guys to understand, and I'm not going to go through this whole story, is that started a process, okay? And so for months, I was emailing and sending her messages and sending her slides and asking her to get on calls and being in control of the follow-up. And guys, it wasn't as important to her as it was to me, right? But I kept sending her stuff anyways. And in December, after getting her on a webinar with Todd and Shannon Varvel, one of my awesome leaders, and getting her on the phone with Shannon Varvel because their stories connected, she ended up becoming an advisor, and today is killing it. And, in 6 months is already averaging over $3,000 a month and building an amazing team. And here, this is what I want you to get out of this. This is what I told her. Because she told me, she said, Dawn, because I asked her, so why do you want to do this? What's your reason? What's your purpose? What can I help you achieve? And she said, if you can help me earn $2,700 in the next 8 years so that I can retire on time, then that would be awesome. And I looked at her and I said, Tammy, I can help you do that in 6 months if you listen to me. And if you are coachable and teachable and do these simple things every single day. And guys, that's a whole nother training. But if you're bored and you want to see it and haven't seen it, just Google Dawn Funk AdvoCare, click on videos, and it's the power of 3 super simple strategies. That seriously was inspired by Tammy. And those are the things that she does, and they are working. Okay. So casually intentional. It's a process. Here we go. My numbers are off. I was messing around. Hopefully I'm not shafting you guys on one. I don't think I am. All right. I was an English teacher, not a math teacher. All right, number 5. Sorry. Just put number 4, and Dawn's a dork because she skipped a number. All right, number 5. Ask questions. Give compliments. Dig for connections. Guys, you've got to talk to people. If you are shy, you have to get over it. The longer that you struggle with that and not face it, then the longer it's going to take for you to achieve your goals and purpose with AdvoCare. All right. And so one of the easiest ways to, interact with someone is to get them talking about themselves, right? Ask them questions. Where do you work? What do you do for a living? How many kids do you have? Where are you from? What do you like to drink, during the day for energy? I don't know. Get them talking. Give them compliments. Oh my gosh, you have beautiful eyes. I mean, here's the deal, guys. Everyone has beautiful things about them, right? All of us are uniquely created, and we all have things that we're blessed with. Look for those things in people and point them out and compliment them, okay? And dig for connections. I love asking question after question, but in a slower kind of way. I don't sit there and, talk a million miles a minute. but I love to ask people questions and then have, one of those questions result in a connection, right? And so here's a story way back from the beginning with Kendra Beck. And she had called me. I didn't know who she was, but she had called me for something for PTO because I was the PTO president. I wasn't even a silver leader yet. And hang on, I got to take a drink. But Kendra called and she needed to talk to me about her market day stuff for PTO. And so, we're talking about it. And so I just started asking her questions. Oh, yeah. Hey, I appreciate you calling me, Kendra. You're so nice. And so, do you have any kids? And she's like, yes, I have 2 little boys. I'm like, oh, awesome. How old are they? She tells me their ages. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Are you married? What does your husband do? And she said, oh, he works for a tool and die company. I'm like, oh, bam. Hey, my dad owns a tool and die company. That's awesome. So we talked about that for a little bit, right? And then, I asked her, gosh, so you're the market day chick. How many schools do you work for? And that was like the magic question because she represented like over something crazy, like 175 school districts, right? And so I'm thinking, that's a lot of schools. That's got to be a lot of traveling. So I said to her, I'm like, Kendra, I'm like, how much traveling do you do for your job? And she's like, oh yeah, it sucks. She's like, yeah, I'm away a lot, and it's hard. And I've got 2 little boys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, here's the thing. I didn't officially like unload AdvoCare, but I did kind of drip it. And I'm like, yeah, I said, I am doing, I told her how I had 4 kids and I said how I was a teacher and, how I also made cookies. And I was really excited though, because I had found something else where I was helping people earn extra income. It just said reconnect again. Hang on one second. So is this or unconnect? That's not even a word. Is this disconnecting for them too? Or just?
It's working again.
Oh, okay. Okay, our internet is horrible. You would think that we would upgrade and get better internet, Brett. Okay, so I'm just teasing. So anyways, but so Kendra, 3 months, had it in my calendar. And that night at that meeting, I took a goodie bag and had Spark and had an impact. And I even gave her like a solutions, for your success DVD. When I'm seeing that it's off again, awesome. And so that started a journey, of her with AdvoCare. And guys, it didn't happen right away. I had to follow up and send her information and send her ways to learn more about AdvoCare and be in control of that. And we became Facebook friends. I think that's another great way to have people watch you for a while is become Facebook friends with them. All right. So with that, it means you got to be sharing on Facebook though. All right. I'm hoping when it goes out that like, it's not breaking up the information you guys are getting. So give some feedback although it says the chat's off. So yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right. Number 6, make new friends. Get around people and be approachable and fun, okay? Guys, this is so important. That is one of my biggest pet peeves when I hear people say, well, I've already gone through everybody on my list. I don't have anyone else to share with. Baloney, okay? Most of the people on my front line are new friends and new people that we have met and built a relationship with. And you know what? I have found that they're kind of more fun because there's not that awkwardness, of having known them forever and gosh, the stress of, oh my gosh, it better work for them. Not that I don't want it to work for strangers, but I just don't feel the anxiety as much as I would if like my dad did this, which that'll never happen. God love him. But, make new friends, and you've got to put yourself in situations to get around people. So don't sit in your car on your phone at football practice. Get your butt out of the car, go sit in the stands and talk to some of the moms. If you're shy, get over it. You'll find that the more that you do it, the more that you face the uncomfortable, the more comfortable it will become. And so you've got to be approachable. That means you can't have your nose down in your cell phone all the time. You got to be looking up. You got to be smiling, right? And so those are just such important things. And so Don Lawrence story, here's one. And this could fall into the being intentional also. This is a story back a couple years ago. We had pictures scheduled. Dawn was a referral, did not know Dawn. And so we went to go get our pictures on the same day that 3 of my 4 kids were in the Nutcracker. Yeah, Brett loved me for that. And so we're getting everyone ready and all their hair cute and all their little outfits on. And as we're flying around the house, I'm like, Brett, oh my gosh, we can't forget to get the spark. We got to make sure we have an impact. We got to make sure we have a bottled water because whoever this dude is, we are sparking them. And I left the house that morning knowing that whoever this guy was, we were sharing AdvoCare with him. So we were being intentional. And so we went to the picture session and we spent 2 hours laughing, asking him questions, just getting to know him. And before we left, I said to Brett, you better spark him. I got to go. And so Brett, being a good husband, shared a spark with Dawn. I knew I'd see him again. He was taking our pictures. I sent him a Facebook friend request so that he would start watching us. And, a couple weeks later, went into his photography studio and, kind of dripped AdvoCare, shared another spark with him. And I said, hey, what'd you think of that spark? And he said, oh, it was awesome. I really liked it. And I was like, well, hey, just so you know, I'm like, that spark is the staple product and one of our best selling products. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, it's the 24-day challenge. I'm like, it's awesome. And he's like, oh. And I said, now this is a little bold, but this is kind of who I am sometimes. So, and because he was fun and I knew he could take jokes, I felt comfortable saying it. So that's where you have to kind of read people. But I said, hey, I noticed, now that we're Facebook friends, I'm like, I noticed that like your picture on your profile doesn't really match you. And meaning he had put on some weight. And so he kind of looked at me and I'm like, yeah, so if you ever want help looking back, looking like that guy again, let me know because I can totally hook you up and help you, with this 24-day challenge. And I left. Now, granted, again, that might have been a little edgy, but do you know what happened? On Christmas Eve, he reached out to me and asked if he could get a 24-day challenge. He was doing a photography shoot in Florida in 25 days and needed to start on Christmas Day. Who does that, right? But you know what I did? I said, absolutely. Because that's the thing about this business too, is that there are going to be times when you're not going to want to do it. And people are going to ask you for things and it's going to be inconvenient. But if you go over and beyond helping people, I'm telling you what, it will lead to big freedoms and choices down the road. And so we loaded all the kids in the car on the way to Grandma's house on Christmas Eve, and we dropped off a 24-day challenge. And I spoke with strength to Dawn about the importance of becoming a distributor to get the discount. I said, it's not about selling, it's about saving, and it's what's best for you. And I had that confidence in my voice, which is so important because if you don't believe in yourself and what you're sharing, then other people are not going to believe you either. And so he became a distributor, but he made it clear he did not want to do this as a business. And for months, we made sure he got good results. His wife got on a challenge. And for months, Brett would call him because he was in our downline and share with him about taking advantage of higher discount levels and getting to our top discount level. And he wanted nothing to do with it. And out of the blue, in March, he decided, you know what, maybe I do want to do this as a business. And he ended up selling his way to advisor in 6 days. And today is a Ruby leader in our organization and also our assistant. He's awesome. And so again, being intentional and understanding that this is a process. All right, number 7, Advo-drip. I love to use the word Advo and attach it to other words. I think it's so fun. But guys, you've got to be patient. I just talked about that. You've got to embrace the process. And One of the things I just realized, I don't think that maybe it might be the thing that got deleted, is when it comes to your word choices. And when I just talked about, Don Lawrence and that story about speaking distributor with strength, I'm telling you what, think about the words that you use and how people are going to interpret them. Because I remember in the beginning that I struggled with sharing about becoming a distributor, because as soon as the word distributor came out of my mouth, I got nervous because I thought, oh gosh, they're going to think I'm trying to get them to sell it. And guess what? They instantly were like, I don't want to sell this stuff. And then I felt stupid and I was like, okay. And no, that sucked. And so I had to get really good at sharing distributor with strength. And so I remember thinking, why are people like instantly getting such cold feet about it? And then I thought, well, duh, the word distributor means distribute. So of course they're thinking, oh, they're trying to get me to sign up and sell this stuff. And so something that has really helped me and that I always stress to my team is when you share distributor, you need to always say, as soon as the word distributor comes out of your mouth, don't even take a breath and do it just like this. You can pay, or here's when you share all the options. Well, you can, pay full price for your products and just be a retail customer, which is really silly. Or you can become a distributor. It's what's best for you. It's about saving and not about selling. All in one breath, okay? Because if you say it all in one breath, then you don't even give them time to rebuttal, okay? So let's practice that, right? So, oh my gosh, you should totally become a distributor. It's about saving. It's not about selling. It's what's best for you. Okay, I just mixed that up, but still, whatever. Get that combination in there. It's about saving. It's not about selling. It's what's best for you. I'm telling you what, and if you let that roll off your tongue, it will help alleviate a lot of these people's stress about it. And then I always say, and you know what's awesome about it? You get 3 free boxes of Spark, and you get to be in control of your ordering. And guess what? We don't charge your credit card and send you stuff that you don't order. That's one of the many awesome things about AdvoCare. And every time you order, you're going to get a discount, which is awesome. So again, being excited, being confident in your delivery of that option, okay? And so back to number 7, the Advo-dripping. This is the Jolie story. This is my son Blake's friend's mom. And, I've known her for over a year now. We invited them to Blake's birthday party, which is where I officially shared a Spark with her. She became a distributor about a month later. And I've gone over to her house. I've done a little one-on-one kind of, sharing of AdvoCare. I've tried to get her on some webinars to no avail. But right now, we're just kind of building the relationship. I invited her to a cookout where some of the people from my team were at on my birthday over the summer. And this Friday night, I'm excited. She's invited us over for dinner. And she does want it. And she knows about the business. And her husband's a doctor. And they're a great family. And she does massage therapy. And she talks about, even though her husband's a doctor, they would love, to have extra income so that he could work less shifts and she could, have him home more. And so we're kind of digging into her purpose, and we're still, in that process part. But that's normal, right? But, she knows all of the options, and we're, just pouring into her. And who knows? I hope that, this becomes more for her, but I have to be patient and trust the process. All right, build relationships, get into people's lives, and do what they like to do. Okay, I'm realizing I need to speed this up. Okay, so this is so important, you guys. You are going to have to get into people's lives and not just do AdvoCare, right? This is an investing in people business. And so, Lori Peer, I know as I'm looking at the time, I got about 10 minutes left here, but I'm going to quickly run through this story. And this is a great one. This is one of my favorite ones because I was clueless. I was 3 weeks in. I knew to be excited. I knew to have Spark with me, and I knew to get around people, right? Because this is a people and this is a sharing business. And so I crashed a cookout of someone that I didn't even know. Our boys were friends. And here's the thing. I want you to think about this too. When you go to places, anywhere you go, you should be thinking, okay, I'm not going to let myself leave until I work AdvoCare into how many conversations, right? So I went to this cookout going, all right, whoever this chick is, I am working AdvoCare into a conversation. And I thought, all right, I'm going to a cookout, so probably she's going to ask me if I want something to drink, right? And so I had already played out the scenario of how that would probably go down. And so we get there, and sure enough, she asked me what I want to drink, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to have a Spark. I said it all casually, right? And she was like, Spark? What the heck is that? I'm like, oh my God, it's awesome. It's my super mommy juice. It's what got me off of pop. It got my husband off of coffee. Here, let me make you one. I did not turn into somebody I wasn't. I did not turn into this weird, ingredient expert and say, oh, it's loaded with B vitamins and it comes in a variety of however many flavors. No, that's weird, right? That's salesy. I was just me. And so I pull out a water and, now here's the thing, the fake it till you make it, because I'm scared to death. I remember thinking, what if she asked me about these ingredients? What if I spill the Spark everywhere? What if she doesn't want to try it? What if she hates it? I'm thinking all this crap, right? But I am faking my confidence, buddy. And I am like, here, drink to the top of the label. And I'm pouring in the Spark and I'm shaking it up and I hand it to her. And as she takes a sip, I'm like, isn't that awesome? And she's like, yeah, that's really good. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I don't have time for this whole story. But she just became a distributor for the products for months, right? But I saw something in her. She has a huge heart, a beautiful smile, an independence, a feistiness. And I thought, man, if she ever did this, she would be amazing. And, but I would send her stuff every week. I would invite her to mixers. I would invite her to calls, invite her to webinars. She ignored me for 3.5 months. I did not take it personally. I kept sending anyways. Okay, you got to be persistent until someone said, do, because it's about her. It's not about me. And so I sucked it up on Saturday mornings and I went and hung out with her and built that relationship. Oh, crud. And it just disconnected again. And hopefully this is going to keep going. I might have to go start sitting somewhere else to do webinars. We have the worst internet here. Maybe we should move to Florida sooner, Brett. Well, anyway, so I did. Okay. Yes, I did. So ended up, she built her way to advisor after about 3.5 months of me dripping and building the relationship. 7 months, surpassed her salary at the bank. Hey, Brett, come here. I want to know if this stuff's all being cut out or not. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if Brett comes. I know, but come here real quick. This is a hoot. This needs to be a reality show. I'm not even kidding. So that when it cuts out, do you think they're missing parts of the training?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know. All right, well, hopefully not. I think Holly's on here, so Holly will let me know. All right, so, but anyways, here's the deal, guys. She's became our first diamond that we helped get to the diamond level. So again, it all started with a spark. It all started with being casually intentional and going to a cookout and getting in an uncomfortable situation and faking my confidence and building a relationship and leading her on a journey consistently every week, trying to get her to see more of AdvoCare and not making it about me, but just not quitting so that when she was ready, I could help her. All right, number 9, consistently post Facebook things, pictures, positivity, heartfelt things. My sister's a great example. I believe in this, and my sister does this every day too. Guys, people are watching you on Facebook. Now, you're not going to build your business on Facebook. Did you hear me? You are not going to build your business on Facebook. All right? It's like a big billboard, like Patrick Wright has said. But it does. People are watching you to see what kind of person you are and to see if you're serious about this. And so when you post about AdvoCare on Facebook, again, don't be someone you're not. Don't write words and again, think about your word choices. If you don't want to come across salesy, then don't use salesy words, okay? Be real, be you, be positive, post before and after pictures, post pictures of your family. All right, enough said. And post consistently. Nothing annoys me more than people who are frustrated that their business is not taking off, and I go to their Facebook page and there's not one thing about AdvoCare. Are you kidding? That is like your billboard for planting your flag and letting people know that you're a part of this great company. All right, number 10, pamphlets and samples to neighbors, long distance friends, teachers, coaches, parents. When you do these things, write the letter how you would talk. Okay, I do think there's value in doing this. We have a great story with our former neighbor who, we put a little heartfelt letter with a picture of us to make it more personal, and a couple samples of Spark. She walked around the block for a year with her husband, saw the mixers getting bigger, and decided to get involved. And now is the start of our awesome team in Chicago. And it all started with a letter and some samples. Tammy Ruwine, our daughter's teacher, her rock star, Jenny Millay, out of the Nashville area, started with Tammy sending her a care package with some Spark. So yes, there's value in that. But again, include a personable or, a heartfelt letter with that, okay? Don't overcomplicate it. Slow down to speed up. Guys, don't be all about AdvoCare. That's annoying. And if you keep sending prospects and people things and it's AdvoCare, 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 guess what? They're not going to care. All right? So sometimes you got to slow down and just hang out with people and intentionally not bring up AdvoCare. All right? And so Brett had a friend of his that he went to college with that, he had been sharing with and sending webinar links and inviting him to things. And Mark, too busy, no thanks, don't have time, maybe later, all those things, right? And finally I said, Brett, why don't you just go hang out with the dude? Like, go golf with him. And there happened to be a golf outing that some other AdvoCare people were doing. And so he got Mark around the people in AdvoCare. And I'm telling you what, that is one of the secret things too. We do a lot of things with families and cookouts, and we have a mix of AdvoCare and then prospects, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch because the people in AdvoCare are awesome because they dream bigger and they do more, right? And so sometimes you got to slow down and just be with people, okay? And if AdvoCare comes up, great, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. Consistently follow up, guys. Don't let Advo awkwardness keep you from taking action. Was it awkward sending Lori Peer? Oh, what just happened there? Oh, the whole computer just shut off. Okay, I think that one's dead. I think we're good though. But anyways, don't let the Advo awkwardness keep you from following up with people. Most people need 5 or more exposures before they are going to do anything. So it's so important, and I wish I had time to share this whole Christina story, but we met this couple in Australia in March, I think it was, and they just became distributors this pay period, all right? And, she's still somewhat interested in the business. I've sent her some samples. It's a journey. It's a process. I mean, we're into September, but I have been consistently following up with her, and you've got to do that. All right, be transparent, guys. Share why you're doing AdvoCare. You cannot just be sharing products. And let me say this, if you're only sharing products in 24-day challenges, you're only going to attract product users and 24-day challenge users. You have got to share that you are doing this as a business, all those choices, and let them know why. And it needs to be something that makes you uncomfortable. I mean, trust me, I didn't like telling people I was going to Cashland and CheckSmart. I didn't like telling people that Brett and I were in a sucky place in our marriage. But you know what? Sharing those truths helped other people find hope in this too. And man, if this can help Dawn and Brett, maybe it can help me, right? And so I don't have time to go in my last story here about the server from Cedar Point. But guys, I'm telling you what, the sooner that you get uncomfortable and you really open up. And when I told people, guys, I can't keep making cookies. It sucks. My back is killing me. My family is suffering. My students are suffering. And I'm really excited. I don't know if, you know, this business is for you or not, but I'm excited to make $1,000 a month. And if that's something that you might want to do with me, I would love to help you. And I would love to get you on the phone with my friend Jason, because he's having great success and he's really helping me, and he would help you too. And I'm telling you what, that is how you are going to be able to share and help more people. All right, pick a number. Be consistent and be accountable. And guys, I'm going to skip this one, and that's where go to Dawn Funk AdvoCare, click on videos, and that Power of 3 super simple strategies talks all about this. It's a quick little video. You'll love it. And that talks about number 14. All right, 15. Funnel people to your sponsor. Yes, you are sharing. Yes, you are the first part of the success system wheel, one-on-one, you sharing with people. But if AdvoCare starts and stops with you, it is never going to grow. Do you hear me? So important. And so you have to get good at getting people connected to your upline and to whoever is helping you. And that's where you need to know as much of your upline as possible and build those relationships so that you know their stories and you know who to connect to who, right? And I'm telling you what, you know, even at the level that we're at, we still bring in third-party credibility. And if you have distributors that are just product users, but you know that they are meant for more and you see something in them, then you take ownership and you reach out to your sponsor and you say, I need you to call so-and-so and check in on them and see how the products are working. And I need you to drip your story on them, because that might be just what they need to hear in order to have a light switch flip about AdvoCare. So guys, you know, please, I can't stress that enough. This is a business of duplication. If you are not funneling people to your sponsor and using the success system, then they are not going to do that either. And so that is something that I think you really need to get good at. And I'm telling you what, just be casual. You know, just make it simple. If someone asks you a question about a product, instead of trying to research and get the information, say, you know what? That's a really good question. And unfortunately, I don't know the answer for that because I'm just getting started. Or even if you've been in a while, so you know what? That's a great question. I don't want to screw this up. So I want to get you on the phone with my friend Jason, because he's been doing this a lot longer and he has helped so many people. And let's get him on the phone. So just give me a time that works good for you and we'll get him on the phone. And then I shoot him a text and say, hey, you know, when can you help me? This is the times I got. And I'm telling you what, be casual. Make it the next natural part of this, okay? And anyone that wants to earn money, when you drip that, you've got to get them on the phone with your sponsor or your leader. They need to understand from someone else what it takes to have success in this business. And I wish I had time to share Jen Glasscock's whole story, but one of my few friends who joined me in the beginning, and getting her around my leaders, especially my third level leaders up, Holly and Jamie out, man, I'm telling you what, that has been a huge part of her journey, just connecting to them and connecting to their story. And so guys, you cannot make AdvoCare all about you. You cannot let your ego, your pride, whatever it is, it cannot get in the way, all right? And so here's my last tip. You can plug in constantly, okay? You can watch trainings like this. You can watch videos. You can get on phone calls, because you know what? There is no shortage right now of training in AdvoCare, which is awesome. But if you aren't sharing, all of that will not matter, okay? And you will just be wasting your time just trying to learn. And I'm telling you what, the best way to learn about sharing and doing AdvoCare is to get in the trenches and just suck it up and do it. Most of your time should be spent sharing and following back up, right? And getting people through the success system. That is the best way to learn and grow and have success. So I'm just telling you, yes, these things are important, but if you're just constantly plugging in and you are not sharing and your business is not growing, then you are plugging in too much, okay? And so, I mean, there's a balance there. And I say that candidly because I want all of you guys to have success. And you need to know, and this is advice for me too. You know, Richard Wright says this all the time. You need to constantly be building and sharing, because people are going to come and go, and we've seen it happen ourselves. But it's so, so important to keep sharing and caring. And I appreciate you guys tonight. I know my phone's been blown up with people saying it's been in and out. I think we just have sucky internet at our house. So I might just have to go back to my quick little videos until we move to Florida. But we'll see. Maybe I'll go hang out at someone's house that lives by me. But anyways, I appreciate you guys, and just keep fighting for this. This is so real. And I just know that you are in AdvoCare at just the right time for a reason. This has been intentionally and by design put in your life, and you are in control. And just get over yourself and get over the awkwardness, because that's just being selfish, by not allowing yourself to get uncomfortable, because you're getting uncomfortable and you're messing this up is only going to help you learn how to share better with other people in the future. All right, well, God bless all you guys, and thank you again for joining us tonight. And thank you, Brett.